Please join me in the moment of silence and pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, first order of business and only order of business is the C&E matrix. We're of that. So I'm just going to move down to the table at the computer. Got the spreadsheet. Testing. All right, Dr. Farley and I talked about this. We've just identified the first 4 sections for us to discuss tonight or this afternoon. I'll just go ahead and delete those scores. So we'll start with academics, right? Okay.
Yep.
And just, I guess the first thing that we probably should do is talk about the goal of this. And it's to create the best educational experience for all students within the current funding allotments. And the reason I say that, I know that some of these options are going to cost more than our current funding allotments, but we have to have a baseline or a starting point. So as it relates to funding, if it's more than what we currently have for funding, it's going to be a lower score. So I just wanted to add that in there. If it's going to cost less, then it's going to be a higher score. And then, do you want to lead going across?
Okay, so from my understanding, these are to be scored by our experts, and that's going to be our academic team supervisors. So the options down the side are the configurations that we would have for our middle schools. Correct?
Yeah, those are options. There can be more. Those are just some that have been thrown out there so that we can go to a brainstorming session to add more here. I think you've already done some of that.
Yes. So this has been shared with supervisors more than once, and it was shared with principals, and it was shared with principals and supervisors at one meeting. And these are some of the options that we came up with. Plus 2, if anybody stopped me in the hallway and they had a suggestion, I was open to any suggestions, so I have put everything that has been mentioned to me down that side as an option for looking at middle schools.
I mean, obviously, we've got using 2 existing elementary schools, and the only 2 options there, north, south, Martin Stone. You could actually say any 2 of those in any combination if you wanted to.
So let me ask you this. So just obviously we'll just have the one document. So I'm not, and I don't want to speak for any supervisor here because they're all adults and they can speak for themselves. I don't know how comfortable they feel in, like, somebody who has an ELA background may feel that ELA is more important than math if you have a math background. So, I don't.
So I think the scoring part of it is in relation to our students. It's not necessarily. It's like, so if we do nothing, if we continue to do nothing, is it where we want to be in ELA across the board, K through 12? And if it is, then it would be a 9. And if it's not anywhere near what we want, or not even in correlation with what we want, it would be a 0.
I guess what I'm saying is, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 different supervisors here. And they all may have a differing of opinion. So do they have to come up with a consensus? I mean, or do they, can they disagree? Do we have discussions about it?
Yeah, we can absolutely discuss it. This is open forum. I would be fine if all of us were sitting down here together, but it's just it's a committee meeting.
Okay.
It's not necessarily
Right.
like our normal meeting.
Okay, so, can I speak one more time and then I'll shush?
No, you go ahead. You run it.
So, and supervisors, if you disagree, please tell me. You're not gonna make me mad, hurt my feelings, and I promise I will never, ever hold it against you. So when you score down the side, what's the numbers we use?
0, 1, 3, and 9.
0, 1, 3, and 9.
Score across here. Across the top is just the importance it is.
Right.
So if you think, right now we've got all of these as high importance. Typically in an area you would only have one of high importance, but all of these are of high importance for the project that we're trying to accomplish.
Right. Okay, so my thoughts would be do nothing. 80% of the population that responded to the survey said that they were in favor of middle schools. In the 27 years I've been here, we've never seen that. So my thoughts would be we would score do nothing as a 1 all the way across. I don't want it to be the lowest, but I don't want, by far not the highest. So
So I guess if we did nothing and stayed with our current configuration the way we are today,
would we just do a 0 there then?
well, are we accomplishing what we want to in ELA, or partially what we want to in ELA? That's what you're looking at.
Okay. Okay, so I didn't,
So a 1 would be fine there. It would. If we were great at ELA and we were 80% across the board, K through
Proficient,
12,
right.
then we would be a 9. We wouldn't want to do anything, right?
correct.
And then we'll look at these other options as, will that help us get to where we need to be or want to be in ELA?
So, guys, do you all think a 1? Okay, I see some head nods, so I guess yeah. Yay, we got something accomplished.
So, I don't know if this one was on here previously, or if you had zoning, hard zoning. Would that get us any closer to where we want to be if we had fewer students?
Zoning, no. I mean, I really don't think that it would. And my reasoning for that, you're still going to have the same number of students. You're still going to have them in a K-8 configuration. You just may change their location, which could destroy, because if they're moved to another school, they're not going to have the same teacher that they've had for, if they love art and we move them to a different school just because we're hard zoning, which we're pretty much hard zoned. I mean, we do allow a few out of zones, but that's really not going to change the effect that it's going to have on their performance in ELA, math, and CTE.
Does anybody know when the last time the zones were at least looked at, maybe not changed, but at least looked at? And the reason I ask that, since 2020, it's my understanding we've seen an average of 40 to 50 new addresses, new homes being built every month. And that's been a pretty consistent thing. So that, not saying they're all in one place, obviously, but we've seen subdivisions go up where farms used to be. So if that's not been done in a minute, that definitely needs to be a part of this.
Rezoning has not been done in the last 10 years. And I can say that because I've been in this building for 9.
I think it was 2014 or 15. I think Mr. Andrews was director the last time we rezoned. That would have been over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely overdue.
So, do you feel like this would still be ones across the board? Rezoning?
Well, I mean, if you rezone, you're still gonna have 9 pre-K 8 schools. You just may have kids at different locations.
That'd be, basically, do we even need to leave this one in here to score for the rest of the matrix? Because it would be the same as do nothing. So we'll just.
This goes back to the very famous Ronnie Chang bit that we quote often here on the show. Ronnie Chang says we live in a prime now world where we want it now, prime now. We want to order, click the button, and then hear our doorbell ring and have it on the first day. Prime now. I don't want it tomorrow.
Okay.
I want it Friday. I want it now.
So
It's really how it is. We want instant results. I want everyone in this room to admit.
this would not do anything for academics at all.
Have you ever
Correct. Build a middle school sports,
That would be zeros or ones.
a different brand?
ones at least, if not zeros.
I need it to be like 2 days.
Everybody agree with that?
No.
Do nothing for academics.
I'm looking for another option.
2 new middle schools.
I know, but I want it. I want it in my possession, so I don't have to worry about it.
It's the culture we live in, and you know what? Here's another example.
So that's kind of a goal here is to go to the middle school. So I think if we did that, that we would see a benefit in ELA, math, and CTE. You know, I don't know if it would be a 3 or a 9.
Right then and there. No credit, so it's even worse.
Build 2 brand new buildings.
Is that realistic? County.
So I think what, and please correct me if I'm wrong here, guys. I think what the purpose is for us to look at this and rank each one of these as what we think would be best for ELA, for math, and all of those priority metrics across the top. And what we're going to do then is we're going to get the top 3, we're going to get a high score. Once we get those top 3, then we're going to have to start talking to county commission about this is our plan and where we want to go in 28, 29, 29, 30. But we've got to start somewhere. So I think when we look at this and we score, they're saying 9s, they just quit. They don't, they're done with me. So, but now guys, okay, so building 2 new middle schools, that would make a 9 for ELA, math, and CTE. What about personnel cost?
Because we're going from 12 schools to 14 at that point.
Correct.
I think it would depend on the schedule, like in the high school, block schedule costs a lot more teachers. So it would depend on if you're planning on doing block or,
I think middle school needs to stay traditional.
Okay, so we're saying 9 for ELA, 9 for math, and 9 for CTE. Okay, so what are you saying for personnel cost? 3 or 9?
So remember, in relation to current funding,
Yeah.
it would be a lower score if it's higher, it'd be a higher score if it's lower.
Say that again, let me write that down.
So in relation to cost, if it's gonna cost more, it's gonna be a lower score. If it's gonna cost less than our current budget, it's gonna be a higher score.
So then that probably needs to be, they're all
We should
saying
have made
3.
little placards.
Yeah, the 9 is the advantage it gives you. The higher the scores, the higher the advantage.
Sorry, next time I'll have you signs made.
So this is one that, if it comes to the surface, that we would need to really look into how much is that gonna cost.
Correct.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, so they're saying 3.
Okay.
Diversity of class offerings. So our options are 1, 3, and 9. 1, 3, or 9. I think they're,
That would probably be the absolute best.
I think so.
And we might as well just
Yeah, I think,
call it a day.
and that's what they're saying, 9. Extracurricular activities, both athletic and academics, I think that's going to be a 9.
Yeah.
Graduation rates, ready grad, state report card, that's going to be a none. Dropout rate, 7%.
Is that where we're at currently? Or is that, we want to be better than that?
Eldridge or Miss Smith, do you know our dropout rate currently? Is it,
It's less than 7. Well, it depends on which one you're looking at,
federal or state?
federal, but it's less than 7%. I feel like, or it's right at 7%.
What do you all think about dropout rate? And if we went to 2 middle schools?
I don't see that it's gonna have an effect, because who else said that just then? It
Might impact some,
maybe just a little.
very little,
So 1?
yes.
So I think, Ms. Hill, what we're saying here is hopefully if we went to middle school, that we're looking at the effect that would have when the kids do get to high school.
Do you think having more opportunities with athletics and extracurriculars would not help with that dropout rate at an earlier age? But I almost think it would at least be a 3, but that's just me. I
Well, I
don't
have my
know.
opinion, but, you know, I
1, yeah,
you're
I
the one
agree.
we're paying
So we'll
for.
go with 1, yeah,
Let's hear it.
yeah.
I think that should be at least a 3.
Agreed.
And here's why I say that, but now, again, I'm 1.
Yeah.
There's 6 of them.
Right, I got you.
Why I'm saying that is because, you know, we put these kids together and, you know, you've got some that's been in a class of 30, some that's going to be in a class of 60, and they've been with them since kindergarten, and then we throw them to the high school, you know, and they become a very, very small fish in a big pond. But if we can put them together in that smaller pond and they're together for 3 years, they've got a new friend group
Yeah.
before they get to high school.
Yeah, and the exposure too of what they're going to encounter in their new environment of middle school that's specific, or having the opportunity to be exposed to that new curriculum, that new, you know, instead of coming from a K-8 idea where the STEM and there's some limited things that you can do through that platform, with a new middle school platform, the exposure to different ideas, I think, would come earlier, possibly, or at least have the opportunity to do so, because that's the goal. Expand the opportunities, create more pathways earlier. Through that, one would think that the dropout rate would decrease to some degree by inspiration, surely.
I mean, if you look at this option compared to some of the other options, would it rate higher than some of the other options that we're looking at here?
I can agree with the 3. I wouldn't give it a 9. Because it's gonna have a little bit of an effect, but typically, having been at the high school for so long, and the reason kids drop out, like, it just varies. It's really more of a family thing
Their family situation at home.
and expectations from the family. And, you know, well, I got my GED. It's good enough for me. It's good enough for them.
Remember how everyone was so hard on Tom Brady? The dude was just,
We can
they don't give people time to develop.
you give the final call.
Oh, that's no pressure. Thanks.
I think so. It's like, well,
They said 3.
Okay.
That's the ultimate booker.
So the next one's absenteeism. It's scored by the state.
Absenteeism,
Would that be similar, where they have more?
they're saying 3.
gonna have an effect.
Class size no more than 25 per policy. So what you're saying there is to change policy and state class sizes, right?
I don't know, I don't think I put that on there, did I?
It says class size no more than 25
That's the policy for elementary, right? It's not the policy for middle.
correct. Middle, it's 35.
Really?
Yeah, 30's the class minimum, no more than 35 for, well, that's for 7th and 8th. 6th is 25 and 30.
So would two new middle schools have an effect on that to allow smaller class sizes?
Really,
So high school, what's our class size in high school?
35, unless it's CTE.
Advanced classes or CTE?
CTE is like, HVAC, agriculture.
Yeah, I know.
But no, your advanced classes are just regular math and science, ELA classes. And can't they have up to 30 at the high school level, and don't they in some of them?
Right, but what I'm,
Advanced classes at the high school,
They'll have 35. An honors geometry class right now sits there with 35 kids.
see, I don't know that would have a great effect on it. What do you all think? So are you thinking a 1 or a 3, guys?
Well, let's remember the one key piece here. We're talking about 2 new schools. So capacity across the board by adding classrooms that 2 new schools would add gives you the ability to reduce class size, right? So if we had 2 brand new schools, that's however many seats we want to put in those 2 new schools. Obviously, that means you gotta have teachers and books and things, but I mean, if this is the idea, if that's the topic,
that's the idea.
if you were to build 2 new schools, the number one outcome from 2 new schools would be to reduce class size across the board in every age group, right? I mean, that's why you would do that instead of shuffle. If not, you would do the other options, existing options. With new options, you've increased capacity.
Even our elementary schools would have more room, because right now we have classroom issues at some of the elementary schools, right? They don't have enough classrooms.
Yeah, if we built 2 new schools,
Yeah.
that would eliminate that, yes.
At least with 3 men.
Yeah. Sustainability for for student growth. Well, I mean, if you build schools, you can pretty much set it.
That's pretty much a 9 there.
Yeah, I would think so.
Because that's going to allow us to have space at high schools, elementaries, and middle schools for many years to come if we do that.
So cost, books, desk, technology, etc. So
It's a 1.
the books we will already have, because we've already purchased most of those. Where you're going to run into some costs that might be more is you would hate to build 2 brand new buildings and put furniture from 1972, which we have in some of our buildings now, into that. So,
And technology.
right, I mean, technology's good. We're on a 5-year rotation with teachers, and the Chromebook 1-to-1. That's a consistent cycle. But you'd have to have
Just new technology in the classroom.
correct new boards and things like that. So
Screens.
it's going to cost more.
One. This was thrown out to me by somebody else. I just added it on here back whenever I started this. I don't necessarily know that it's a great option, but I put it on there as a courtesy to the person that asked me to. So.
Okay, so magnet high schools for sports and technology. For technical. Our CTE program is very, very strong. Probably one of the strongest in the state.
I'm not sure what that really though has to do with the topic that we're going over as far as for middle schools itself. Or the effect that it has on middle schools. Just this topic alone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for what we're trying to accomplish, I mean, we're going across the board on it because it's not really affecting middle schools.
I think it depends on the configuration of those 2 schools, right? So what if that's a 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th grade discussion versus, or even 7, 8, 9 in middle school? 10, 11, 12 in high school, right? So you've got some, consider, anytime you talk about adjusting the high school, whether it's magnet or not, right, that's the impact that it could have in your middle school.
So you're saying this could be in combination with one of these other options?
It could be, yeah, it would be a byproduct potentially.
Feel comfortable with us scoring it a 1? Or do you want to wait?
We could lay this to the side and say this could be discussed as one of the options, as
Okay.
part of one of the other options.
Okay,
I'm fine with that.
let's do that.
That takes it out of the list for a little while.
Okay, so 1 new middle and 1 existing elementary school. So that would be building 1 and then
Using one.
retrofitting. Okay, so I think again, you're gonna have a 9, a 9, a 9 on your math, ELA, and CTE. Again, I get that you're going to have a new school, but still you've got the same number of staff, same number of students. So I could see that personnel cost being the same. You're still going to have 2 middle schools, so you're going to have the high diversity of class offerings. You're going to be able to do the extracurricular. I can see that being the same, except when you get to cost. Yes, and here's why I can explain that and explain my rationale. So, okay, and I know this is bad, but unfortunately, education, I've been here a long time. So sometimes, if you're going to change a configuration and you're going to have new students or different students come into the school, and you've got 8 other schools that have these type kids, you can just change out your big furniture for your little furniture. And you're not, see what I'm saying? You're not buying new furniture. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, going to the 2 existing elementaries, I can see 999. Again, personnel costs going to be the same. Diversity is going to be the same. Extracurricular, graduation, dropout, absentee. Now, I don't know, Mr. Van Winkle, about sustainability for student growth with 2 existing elementary schools.
The gynecologist, there's not one accessible OBGYN in my community.
That would probably need to be a 3.
But when I got there,
What do you think? Okay. And then cost. When you're looking at this, and this is really hard because I know I've looked a few pages ahead and I know what's on other pages, but if you're looking straight at academics and you're just going to use 2 schools, we've got furniture all over this county, so that cost piece shouldn't be affected.
Okay. So that's the whole key to this is you may have 8 or 9 that are going to be viable options in academic, but when you get across to transportation and some of the other things.
Well, I mean, like you said, with having to do the inverse on this one, especially, it may be more of a 9 than a 3 because we're not really having to expense much of anything material-wise.
So if it's going to cost more, then that's the lower score, right? And then cost less is a higher score.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
This is the same as that option, so I'm just going to go ahead and
Okay.
copy these in.
and I didn't know if we wanted to do that or if we just wanted to use 2 existing schools and then figure out later, but I'm good with either way.
I think.
Okay, so Pineview stays a pre-K 8 school, and they requested that it be a STEM magnet school.
Full day on tap after a bit of a chilly start.
Walk us through what STEM magnet means.
So that kind of goes back up to the magnet high school piece. So kids would go there pre-K through 8th grade, and the focus would be on a STEM education. You know, right now they're already a STEAM designated school, so that would continue in that.
My question is with that, with Pondview staying at pre-K 8, what about parents that want their kids in middle school? How do we offer them the same opportunities?
Live in that zone, and this is an option, and this is what's chosen, they wouldn't have that option.
They wouldn't have the option to go to the middle school without having to.
They're not zoned for, they wouldn't be zoned for that school.
I mean, we could tell the zone what we want it to be. Like, if you want to be in middle school, in that school district, come on down, provide your own transportation, possibly, right? I mean, that's,
If you're out of zone, you provide your own transportation.
you kind of be a, serve yourself. I mean, possibly.
Would this be similar to the magnet high school, something that we could consider after we determine what configuration we're gonna go with?
Yeah.
Okay, that was one thought, or here's another thought. Pineview is a pre-K 8 school now. I mean, you know, my opinion, and everybody has one, I understand. My opinion is this is almost going to be the same as do nothing. Because if you leave a school in pre-K 8, you're doing nothing to change it.
Well, the other, here's what you gotta remember too, is if you take the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders out of that school, do we need that school? Unless we're gonna be K through 5. Are we gonna have a school to service 65 kids? Or whatever that number is. I don't know the answer to that, right? But, and I see that's why that would be an option, is to leave it be, because it is what it is.
That's gonna have some effect on transportation across the board.
Absolutely.
So,
That's why I say it's hard when you know, I mean, it's hard to focus just on this area because you know what's out there,
Yeah.
the other areas to score.
that could be a decision
After the fact.
fact. I don't see how that's gonna help us decide the configuration for middle school at this point.
Well, it would if you, and I'm not advocating for this, I probably need to go on record before I get misquoted. Nick Davis wants to whatever, so we'll just go ahead and clarify that. I'm just talking in the realm of possibilities. If this is a all in, stay there, double down, create a new initiative, make it a focal point for that demographic. The alternative of that is if we do go to middle schools and we do not deem it a magnet and we do exit those children, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and now we are posed with the said question of how many students is a school worth being open for? That's one less school in the realm of cost that you have to associate transportation, resources, all those things. You reallocate those to different location and you have a different topic, right? So it's relevant.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's do nothing. I mean, it could be the equivalent of do nothing for that school. The rest of them, I don't think it's applicable because of the class size and concentration, if that makes sense. So, I say you probably got to sort it.
Yeah, he did. He turned it around. They brought it to his mindset and mentality.
And that poses the other question, right? If we're not gonna, I mean, are we gonna add a column for that topic? Because the alternative to that is what we just discussed. And again, that's not what I'm saying is not to do that, but it's the alternative of that.
So if we leave it as not discussed at this point, similar to the magnet high schools, that could be part of the overall budget discussion for this when we get down to the top 4 or 5.
And I'd like to do, personally, I'd like to do a little bit more research on magnet schools and what all that involves and all of the criteria for that, because I'm not that familiar with it.
The research I've done on it's pretty impressive, but it's definitely worth a look.
Yeah. So going one high school and one middle school. Okay, team. What do you think about ELA, math, and CTE?
I think for the community, that would be wonderful. I think it's really there. Realistically, I don't know.
So you think it needs to be a 3?
Is that because of like the size of the school?
Yeah, I don't know that either one of them have. I mean,
They can't. SMHS was not built to house
Was SMHS built to house 1,200?
1,200,
I
right?
think that what they're talking about is 10, 11, 12, 7, 8, 9.
Well, not yet, but that's on.
Yeah, that's another option.
No, no,
Oh, okay.
no, this is 6, 7, 8, 9. And no offense, but CCHS, I mean, it's been built onto so many times. The classroom size is smaller over there. They don't have air in the hallways.
So that's all related to facilities type stuff right
Yeah.
now? I'm just talking if we had one high school and one middle school.
Yeah,
Do you
I'm
all-
just saying you can't put both these high schools in one of the high schools right now,
In the current
in
configuration.
the current configuration.
Okay, so, and we'll eventually get to that, I think, but like, what kind of effects do you think, if we had one high school and one middle school, that would have on ELA, math, and CTE? You don't think it would be positive?
I personally do not. That
Okay.
is my personal opinion. Because when you get up into those large numbers, like Cookville High School, Bearden High School, when you get into those numbers, when you have that many number of students in the building, you just don't have the relationships.
Okay,
They decline.
so you think they
That's my
act,
opinion.
okay. Other supervisors, do you agree with that?
I just want to make sure you know it's my opinion. I don't know.
So do you think this needs to be scored a 3 or a 9, guys?
In the scope of academics.
Correct. We're just looking at academics.
Do you think class size is gonna go up if we do this because of the numbers? Is that because of the one body count, how many we have?
Well, I mean, how I look at this is you're going to have the same, I mean, you might have a little bit of an increase, but we're still going to have the same number of teachers and the same number of students. So, I mean, I think what she's, and maybe I'm misunderstanding what she's saying. So, like, there's going to be times when you do, and you all were in school here, I was not, but from what I understand, you had days that you went to your homeroom and you were with a certain group. That number is probably going to be a little bit larger. I mean, your class size is going to have to be your class size, and we're going to have to follow state guidelines, whatever that is. But like your homerooms, that's going to be larger, so you might have a harder time having a relationship with that teacher. Is that what you're saying, Ms.
I mean, with the actual ELA teachers, when you get into a school that large and you have all of those kids together and people, you just get lost.
Yeah, we're essentially doing the same thing that we're doing now, throwing everybody into one high school. We're still clustering 6th, 7th, and 8th grade now, all into one place, and people start getting lost just in the mix. So when people start getting lost,
Well,
because of large numbers.
Let me ask y'all a question. In respect to performance, right? What is the correlation between school size and outcome? Like, how can we point to it specifically and say, schools of this size underperform in ELA, math, and what's the other one? CTE, right? So if we can't identify that, then we can't give it a low score.
Well, and I haven't done research because I wasn't sure what we were doing tonight. So I can't,
Sure, yeah, no, and this is what we're here, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort through the who's
How to
where
do
and
this.
where, what it looks like.
when you have larger high schools and school size.
So that's, I think that's the question to be answered, right? Is
Yeah.
in schools, does school size correlate to that topic? Is one school, is it advantageous or is it a detriment? Like, is there an average number of performance benefits or lack of performance benefits associated with the size of the school? Are 6A schools above or below?
And here's the thing with this, you know, years ago when Mr. Andrews was here, and that's the last time really that they talked about middle schools. I think it was towards the end of his term and the beginning of Miss Graham's. He was leaning towards going to middle schools, and then Miss Graham came on, and you had a complete difference of the data. That's what Miss Hale asked me last time, and Miss Timpson and I was at North today, and Miss Timpson and I talked about this. We can look, and we're going to find data that's going to back middle schools. We can look, and we're going to be able to back data that's going to back pre-K-8s. So, and you're going to have test scores, and you're going to have success stories everywhere. So, data's great, but it can all be swayed to lean the way we want it to lean to. Please realize that.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of factors that play into it. So it's not fair to say that the only thing associated with the outcome is the size of the school. But in this example, like us just trying to get through this micro piece of data, that's I think the lenses that we're asking everyone to look through is, in theory, can we see that this would be a benefit academically to have
Now-
one high school? And it's really this much of the same. Do we agree? Do we think middle school? Is there any reason to believe that high school configuration going to a singular number and a middle school number would reduce the opportunity to improve your ability to learn versus any of these other ones?
And he wanted out too. Like, he was tweeting about it. He wanted out.
Class size stays the same.
Yep, it's gonna be 35 per class.
Yep.
The
And here's the thing, you're going to, a middle school is mentioned in this. And we know, because we've said 4 other times, that by going to a middle school, whether it's existing buildings, new buildings, whatever, that's going to have a positive impact on our students in math, ELA, and CTE. So I think you're going to have to do that here too.
But at the same
think- I
time,
think
the
we're-
size, like Ms.
Yeah,
Smith was
so-
saying, the size of the classroom is what's really going to
Yeah, that's when
start
you
affecting
come over here.
those scores.
John, when you come over here to facilities and you say, will the school handle the number of students? It's gonna be a 0, which is gonna really affect the score on that option.
Yeah,
Does that
but I'm
make
talking
sense?
about on the ELA
I
side of
think we
it.
just need to focus on whether this is
just
gonna
academically.
is gonna work academically. If it was enough room, you just gotta have that in your mind. If we had a 1 high school and 1 middle school and they both had enough room for all of our students, would that work academically? When we get over to facilities, it's gonna say, we don't have enough room, this is a 0. Maybe we'll look,
Yeah.
we'll let option out of the top 3 or 5, whatever it is.
Now that I'm seeing how this is working, it makes a whole lot more sense, because I was, no offense, I enjoy spending time with all of you all, but I was like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine this. But it is making more sense, and I can see how, when we get further over there, some of these are going to immediately go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, could very well. Or that move us to a different theory altogether.
So is this something you feel like after going through this start of an exercise that you could just give your team and do without having
Yeah.
a meeting?
Yeah, I would ask, yes, I could do this. To ask, I have, let's finish this piece here. If you all want to task me and my team with that, that's fine. And then the second piece would be, I would really like specific feedback from you all, who you want the experts to be on other pieces.
So,
Like, who you want me to invite to the table.
yeah, it might be, we can talk about that offline if you want to, but, just think, whenever you start getting over into transportation, you're really gonna need to analyze what effects it's gonna have on number of buses, cost, number of drivers. Can we stagger the start times of schools?
And that's an option on one of those priority matrices, staggering start times.
Yeah, and then I think you're gonna need to look at routes and run the routes and see how the zoning needs to be changed to fit routing all the buses to keep students off the bus more than 45 minutes. Is that our policy?
Half,
That's total, that's per day, right? Or is that?
hour and a half one way.
Okay.
So, but one thing with that is, so that's going to be hard to do because we don't know if we're going to have two middle schools that's going to be one at north and one in south, you know.
But you look at both of those options. Can you not run that software on both those
I
options?
can check and see with Miss Martin. I'm not familiar with that software. No, you're fine.
That's what our software is designed to do, right?
Yeah,
Is-
it can trace routes, tell you the number of kids, the number of stops, and all of that.
I mean, we should be able to take every option that we have
And give it to her.
and give it to her and say, run this and see if we can.
Like when we run, like for this example, like previous employment, it was trying to reduce the amount of time people spend acquiring their materials, right? So they can stay in their productive zone of work and minimize the walk wait time associated with acquiring their supplies. And they track that like it's literally a visual. You can watch the footprints go. And I don't know what our software is. I don't know how it visualizes it. It gives us a visual cue to say, this is the bus en route, right? Over here, over here, over here, over here. But that's the way typical software that I've seen. That's software that I've seen. That's how that works. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Supply chain logistic software.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So can we score 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19 together and
Yeah,
then?
absolutely. And we can do the next section if you want to. That's fine.
I would love to
doesn't
do all
matter.
this together. Yeah. I don't,
So,
If you put it into the same perspective that you did these others.
you're gonna have nines.
Yeah.
Visit Tommy's today and enter to win a new Kawasaki 450 ATV. Exit 320 off by 40 for all.
That's gonna be the same as the others. Same people, different location. Diversity of class offerings. You've got that middle school option, so that's gonna be the same. And then your extracurricular would be the same. Graduation rate, the same. Dropout.
Online at CumberlandComfortPros.com. Cumberland Comfort Pros. Because you and your family's
That might be.
That's going to be affected. Sustainability for future growth, for student growth.
So that goes back, that even goes to what she was saying a minute ago. That would be probably a 0. Because there's no room for what we have now.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then cost. Again, we've got the stuff already.
That would probably almost be, we've already got everything in the classrooms too, right? That would probably almost be enough.
So move grades 6th through 8th to the current high schools. Academically, I don't think this would have a positive impact on our students. I think this would be a 3. I don't know, taking a group of 6th, 7th, and 8th graders and moving them from, K through 5th and putting them with 9 through 12 would be any different. So I don't think that's going to have a positive impact academically on them.
we having a whole their vocabulary would improve.
Tremendously. And their street smarts probably.
3 or 1, or would it be similar to do nothing? 0?
Supervisor's saying 0.
We would at least get where we're at right now.
I don't know.
I don't either. Maybe not. I'll go
probably go back.
Maybe that's not even an option.
I would be completely comfortable with taking that off the table.
Okay,
Amen.
we'll just turn that one there.
Okay, so build a middle school wing to both high schools.
Be similar to.
That's basically the same thing. Would you all agree with that?
Yeah, it's the same thing, different words.
Okay, so, and then this says move only 7th and 8th grade to a middle school. Now, here's the thing, when you go across and you look at these numbers, you're gonna have pretty much the same thing that you've had at some of the others, because you're gonna see a change in, I mean, it's gonna be a positive change for academics, ELA and math and CTE.
Probably the same. Same all the way across.
Probably, I think where you'll see it change is the further out we go.
Yeah.
Scroll up there real quick, Mr. Van Winkle. Extracurricular would be an issue
Yeah,
due to the current configuration of
middle schools,
the middle schools. Or you would
TMSAA.
create a whole new issue of excommunicating the sixth graders from their respective 7th and 8th grade cohorts.
Yep.
One or three.
I think that would be, I mean, okay, so I guess it'd be a step up from where we currently are, meaning that you would have 2 of the 3 grades together.
So it would be a 3, yep.
That's a step up.
Class size. Sustainability. Yeah, and then the last one there is,
Furniture, but
yeah.
Luka even want LeBron back later on. Right now, we reminisce. We do this every Thursday. We get you involved at 877.
So these next 2 are the same, just in reverse.
yeah.
In 1998,
You had that on there just one way.
Yeah,
I added it both ways because
I mean, it's a, yeah,
it could be done either way.
yeah, absolutely. I don't have the numbers, and I haven't looked at the numbers for, obviously, 9, 10, 11, 12, because we've been focused on middle school, 7, 8, 6, 7, and 8, so, I mean,
So if you look at the one body count,
Scotty Brocious was the MVP.
this will work
One of my favorite movies.
and be sustainable for a little
yeah, I think both schools,
while. Either way you do it.
yeah.
Is there changes though, once you get to 9th grade and maybe, and I just heard a portion about being able to do block schedules with 9th grade, requirements as far as schedules and things like that go with something like that?
We could do, if you did 7, 8, and 9, you could do traditional, and then you would do, if you wanted to stay with block, you could do that, because kids would be able to still get their 27 credits. So,
Does that, but, and I'm trying to stay within this realm of academics, does that improve, does that help? Does it stay the same?
block or traditional,
Yeah,
you're gonna have the same thing with that, just like you're gonna have with, middle school versus pre-K-8, you're gonna find it going both ways. You know, again, with ELA, math, and CTE, you're gonna have a 7th and 8th grade group, so that's going to be a change academically, so both of those would be 9s again until you got to that 3rd column, which I never can remember, sorry.
personnel calls.
Diversity. So let's hit us up. 877-99 on Fox on a Throwback Thursday.
And I don't know how the personnel cost, I don't know how that would affect. Most people, though, if they have a license, it's a 612 or a 712 license, so we should be good. You might have some that teach 7th and 8th that has a middle school license, so they couldn't teach a 9th grade class, but you have that now in the elementary. So personnel would probably be a 3 as well and stay the same. Yeah.
Same discussion.
Yeah, you're gonna have the same probably as you would right up above that, because you're dealing with that middle school, it just being 7 and 8, not 6, 7, and 8. Sustainability, I think, is gonna be fine, and your furniture is gonna be fine.
Today's big play was two best bets. Live big play recorded message right now. Heard on ESPN, Face It, and Fox Sports. Today's big play and two best bets are on us. Call 855-BIG-PLAY. It's time to get in with the winners. 855.
So you had,
So,
you had blocked out, rezone the magnet school.
The one thing on the magnet school, right, I'm not trying to beat this horse to death, but there are magnet middle schools. Right, so, I don't know that, I mean, I think that's should and could be an option. Is, do we want to be specific in those areas? But
so I think something that got left off this,
In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis,
was to
you can
use, use one of the facility that was the technical magnet as the middle school athletic
taking
facility.
a 1-minute risk test at
Because the other one would be a magnet.
You might not be able to
I
escape
think that's what it
someone stuck in your head.
So still leave our current configuration, but use one of the high schools as middle school athletics.
Brought to you by the Ad Council
And the school part would be magnet for, just for technical.
Sponsored by
The other school
Cumberland
would
Ridge
be
Assisted
magnet
Living Center.
for
Are you
athletics.
worried you're not safe to
That
be
was
home
the-
alone anymore? At
After I
Cumberland
started
Ridge
thinking about
Assisted
what
Living,
you
you will
said,
find the helping hands you need to be
original
more
comment
independent.
was-
The care team works
Well, do we want to go through here and score this one then and take it from red?
Is that gonna be something that would be possible? I don't know how the magnet school stuff works.
I don't know well enough yet either, but, I
Can you
mean,
look into that?
absolutely, I got it down.
So if you were using, say for instance,
schedule your tour today.
say the wrong school, but say CCHS was magnet for technical. And they have their whole facility of sports complexes not using, we go to one high school athletic program. CCHS's athletic facilities are now for all the middle school sports.
Hunters play a crucial role in
That was what that was about, now that I
deer to designated sampling locations. CWD, a contagious and fatal
And if you have students that are
infecting deer
going
has been detected
for technical education, they can still transfer on a bus certain time of day to go to the other school for other subjects that they want to.
it's a tailored approach to what your experience would be, right? So it allows the focus to be whatever you tell it to be, you know, per location, as opposed to trying to take everything, cut it in half, and hope that it all works out. You focus your effort, and you give the ability for an individual to go focus on their effort without redoing all of what we have, instead of trying to say, well, we got one over here, we need one over here, we got one over here, we need one over here, and then hoping that we can find two of everything every time we go to look for something.
I think that's what that was initially. Sorry, I forgot that comment was there. That was so big, I moved it into a comment.
So I'll do some research on magnet schools. I don't know if I can have it to you Monday in your email, but,
Yeah, that's short notice.
no,
Just look into it.
I will.
It's gonna take a little while to score all this anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so, okay, supervisors, so now we're looking at facilities. Okay, so did we do something with build a new sport, build a middle school sports thing, Mr. Van Winkle?
That wasn't in here at one time,
Second one, it was all zeros, okay,
because it didn't help with academics, right?
correct. Okay. So I think if we build just middle school sports facilities, I'm not sure that that's going, and I skipped do nothing because, I mean, that's what we're dealing with now.
Yeah, as far, I guess it wouldn't hurt to go through this because maintenance, sustainability, if we do nothing, it's still probably gonna be more sustainable than adding schools or,
True statement.
so it might actually score something more than a 1 there. I mean, as far as adding more expense and adding personnel, things of that nature.
Toronto in 2026 after serving as a bench coach for the last 3 seasons.
I agree with that statement. I don't know that we can, I mean, I don't know that we could go all the way to a 9.
We can make it a 3.
Yeah.
Student capacity,
Elementary.
that's probably a 1 in some cases, 3 in others, right?
Yep.
I'd say go with the worst.
And then student capacity at middle school, well, we don't have that right now, so would that be a 0? And then student capacity at the high school,
We're good there.
yeah. Adequate academic space, I mean, we're making it work.
What is it? Room closets, you said?
We have some schools that do RTI groups and tables, on tables in the hallway, so that would be a 1 or a 0. If we do nothing, adequate outdoor space for middle school, we don't have that now. And furniture, we're making do with what we have. I'd probably give that the same, yeah. ADA compliance, Ms. Holton, if we do nothing, are we in pretty good compliance, ADA wise? Would you score that a 9? Playgrounds, I would probably score a 1. I don't know that I would go as low as a 0, but we might be close. Requires increased funding if we do nothing, no. Okay.
Oh, it's probably a 3.
Waterboy, 1998, came out on this day in 1998, starring in the category of underrated comedies because
Did we want to block that off, or did we want to,
Zoning,
the build a middle school sports?
we can score it, I don't think it's gonna be in the top 5 at the end, though, with all those zeros.
I don't think, I mean, and I don't see that it's going to be much different.
Anybody opposed blocking that one off?
Henry Winkler's
Well, I mean, we would have scored the whole thing if it would have been the first one. So following academics, I don't know that that really gives it a fair shake now, does it?
Okay, well, we can take it, we can put it back there.
I mean, I'm not saying we're gonna score it any differently,
Right.
but I mean, like, if we're in the spirit of,
True Six Sigma project, take it off.
So, being able to sustain a sports facility, if we do as well as we do now, it would probably be a 0 or 1. Student capacity at the elementary level, if this is a middle school sports, it would have no effect on elementary. For middle school, it'd probably at least be a 3, wouldn't you think, or a 9?
In relation to that statement, it's not really, it's not gonna help the middle school capacity.
Sports facility would not.
kids are going to the school, however it's structured.
And then high school, it would have no effect. adequate academic space if it's a middle school sports.
Whether you want to give him the credit or not, you can't take away from the fact that that dude had
Athletic feels that, yeah. Adequate outdoor space, that might at least be a 3, or a 9. But I mean, it's gonna have something up better than a 1. Furniture, we would have to have furniture for middle school sports stuff. Adequate extracurricular space, that's what it would be, right? A new facility, ADA compliance, that would definitely be an expense, yeah, and it's something that we would have to do. I don't think we'd have to have a playground. And yeah, that's going to it would require increased funding.
to the extreme, he rocks the mic like a bandit. I was saying, we try to think of which one?
Now to,
Yeah, I know which one.
So 2 new middle schools, maintenance, sustainability, that would be very interesting.
well, they'd be new,
Yeah,
so they'd be sustainable for a while.
Yeah, the wrenches would be a minimum. Yeah, everybody would want to work just at those 2 schools.
you'd be surprised.
Not gonna have a lot of effect on our sustainability, right?
If we could get the funding for that, no, it should,
Initially, it's not gonna
right.
have, so I'm gonna least make
So it would have, 2 new middle schools would have an effect on student elementary capacity for sure.
And I would echo that to say, like, maintenance sustainability, right? Moving children out of said classrooms in any configuration reduces the stress on said schools. So by lower numbers of volume requires less wear and tear and maintenance. So it's going to improve, I would say significantly. I mean, by, 3 grades,
Yeah,
any way we cut it, we're moving 3 grades somewhere else. So if they're going to 2 brand new buildings and then we're going to spread them out across 2 brand new buildings, that would be the lowest sustainability maintenance, right? As far as wear and tear, and now more buildings to maintain, more filters to change, more parts to break. So
That's
3 sounds good.
That's gonna be personnel down the line, it's gonna be more personnel for
Yeah.
2 middle schools, right? So
yeah.
3 is okay, you think?
Yeah.
Or would- Capacity.
I literally just looked up role models because I thought it was a different one. What's that Adam Sandler movie with adults?
Not gonna change anything, it's like high school, right?
That's what I thought you were talking about.
No, those are pretty rated. If you've never seen role models, honestly, it's like really.
No, I've seen it now, but it's been.
Built 2 new middle schools would definitely have academic space.
So now,
Athletic fields, we should have that. We should have adequate furniture. Again,
we have to buy it, right?
yeah, you'd have to get new, I mean, you wouldn't have to, but it would be nice to get new furniture for 2 new buildings. You should have adequate extracurricular space. And then you're gonna have the ADA compliance. Playgrounds, wouldn't think you would need a playground.
Middle school kids.
On our current playground.
It's gonna have effect on our current playgrounds because there'll be less kids on them. And then would require an increase in funding. Yep.
Is it 90 at Naughty? I've seen Wet Hot American Summer. That is very funny.
So what you said about the 0.
Second one. I like first guy you say so. Really good kid. So what you
Okay.
talking about? Yeah, you like
One new middle school and 1 existing elementary.
There's a little, I feel like you like, artsy comedies. Like you probably think,
Be similar.
I don't know how to describe it. It's got a great cast.
This one.
Like I was saying,
Yeah, I think it's gonna be similar. You're gonna see a difference in, high school capacity too, I think. Right? No, that was just middle and, never mind, sorry.
Same year, 98, it was a great year for comedy, but
I was jumping ahead.
I'm struggling to focus on this, so I didn't peek at what you were looking at. So, but I think that elementary capacity, that's going to be affected, and as well as the middle, but high school would not.
It's been announced he's gonna do another mummy
Same
movie.
as the other.
Yeah, it's Rachel Weisz. So there's a nice little comeback for him. But yeah, I agree that Dazzle's really fun.
Yeah, probably. It might even be a 1 at the high school, student capacity at the high school.
It'd be like, well, where is this?
I don't know. Why did we put a 3 on student capacity at the high school for building 2 new middle schools?
Yeah.
Just because it doesn't really have an effect on the student capacity at the high school. I mean, it could really literally be a 1.
Right,
It doesn't really affect.
right. So I think we could do the same thing here, 3, 9, 9, and then maybe change that to a 1 there as well. But then I think pretty much the rest of it's going to be the same.
Okay.
Is it really though? I haven't seen it. Johnny Robinson's in it? Oh, that's do you not like Mr. Destiny?
So 2 existing elementary schools.
Movies. Mr. Destiny was one of my favorite movies as a kid. So he goes that far and they give him like that.
So that's going to, that will have a huge impact on maintenance sustainability, I think. We're going to have to retrofit them.
It's not
that's
quite,
gonna
but
make-
he married a different
Lead over
woman.
a
And
one.
that was incredible too. You made me think of 2 movies just while he was yapping there. It made me
I would
think
think so, yes. And it's going to have an impact on elementary and middle school student capacity.
talks about that movie. And I actually had 2 more. Frequency with Jim Caviezel and Dennis Quaid. Great movie.
Negative effect on that though,
I
right?
had one more and I forgot it, but I'll get back.
Because you're going to displace lots of kids.
He talks. Oh, I got it. He talks to his dad on the CB.
It's not really going to affect.
We're gonna be almost maxed at any school we do it at, right?
It's not going to affect your high school.
Sixth Sense came out, and kind of buzz because of the twist and what a great movie it was. He was dead the whole time. But there was another
So
movie.
we're gonna be cramped at all of our schools if we do this, right?
Yep.
So that's almost the same thing as saying, let's have 1 high school and 1
Everyone was talking
middle
about
school.
Sixth Sense.
We don't really have room to do it.
Well, so here's the thing. If we choose to do this and we choose to do 2 existing elementaries, we're going to have to obviously do some work inside those schools. You know, like, let's say we choose to do this and the 2 schools we choose to do, Stone and Martin. So if you do this, then you're going to displace that we know 500 K through 5 students at Martin. And then you're going to have Stone Elementary. So there's a whole wing at Stone Elementary that's for pre-K through 2 kids right now. And they have a smaller classroom, and they have a little bitty commode that's about this big that, you could use it for maybe developmental classes, but I don't know that the room's big enough for that. And, you're still, regardless, you're going to have kids that's 6th, 7th, and 8th grade in these rooms. So, this is hard. Our kids are going to see benefits academically from going to the middle school if this is what we choose to do. But retrofitting the buildings, that's going to be something entirely different.
That should show up over here too, but if there's not adequate space,
Right.
then it needs to be
Okay,
marked down here,
gotcha.
at least a 1. Right?
Yeah. And athletic fields right now, the elementary, that's,
None of them really have it.
well, some of them still have their football fields.
Remnants of their football
Yeah.
fields, yeah.
Yeah, but that's about all you're going to have. Outdoor space, I mean, they've got decent outdoor space now.
Do they have enough to support middle school athletic facilities? I think is where that's going. Does Stone have enough acreage to support?
I would score that a 3. I don't know that I would go as far as a 9, but I don't think I'd go as low as a 1 either.
Okay.
I mean, we've got we've got furniture at the other schools that we could combine to put there at the middle schools.
I don't, 1, 3, what do you think?
I do a 3.
Okay.
I don't think I'd do it as low as a 1.
Anybody speak up that wants to on any of this stuff? I'm just going to do the numbers.
Extracurricular space. I think that would be a 3.
The little British accent, I feel like, oh yeah, I did not love that movie.
I'm not even a big Mila Kunis fan, but
ADA compliance. So right now, Martin has 6th, 7th, and 8th grade in their school that are in developmental classrooms, and Stone Elementary does too. So ADA compliance, I think we're going to be good there, so that would be a 9.
So would that be the case at North and South too?
so when you talk about 2000s comedies, people
Nope.
will say,
Okay, so should we do,
3.
as far as 2 existing, any?
one, so I think
Should we
if
do
it's
that?
something that they always get named, I think we
Some
should
don't, some do. Should we do
Right.
like a
So probably just do a 3.
okay. Playground,
I was like, yeah, that's way better than I remember. I feel that way about it.
I-
in relation to middle school?
They're very underrated.
I'd probably score that, yeah. And then requires increased funding. It would require,
Capital, but
Right.
not increase in funding, right?
correct, because we would be able to make it do with the teachers and the books and all of those things.
So as far as funding would be the same, but we'd have to have capital money to fix.
Correct, to retrofit. And then for the others, you put the same for North and the same at North, South, Martin, and Stone.
So you said North and South would not be ADA compliant?
They currently do not have comprehensive development classrooms. South does, but it's for little bitties.
So would you say that's a 1 and the other 2 would be a 3?
Yes.
Will Smith and Charlize Theron. Speaking of which, let's go Dodgers.
Because she's also number 16. And that's our lucky number. So she likes Will.
You need to change that one to a 3. Yeah, right there.
Muncie Baloney. I'm going to call you Muncie from now on. Muncie Baloney. No, there she is, Muncie.
I may listen to you, I may not.
Another episode where they wrote the wrong name on Barney's coffee and all his friends called them that name, like Schwarley. I'm going to call you Muncie.
And the Dodgers re-signed Muncie.
That's right, yeah, they picked up his option.
Oh, that was in your update, Muncie? All right, let's go to the show.
So maintenance, sustainability, 1 high school, 1 middle school.
Miss Jones, you guys are great.
It's the same as it is now, right?
Thank you, man.
You're talking about that scene where Dan Patrick is playing that cheesy,
So,
you know, he gets
gonna
paid to come in there and talk
Obviously
about
help our
it.
student capacity.
Honestly, we've always been
Do we have the capacity for one of our high schools to be a middle school?
I share a quick
if that's all it has.
Lamar Arrington was the inspiration for
We wouldn't have student capacity at the high school to do
jumps
that.
over the
No.
line. And LeVar Arrington spent time
Adequate academic space, probably 3.
LeVar Arrington was the inspiration for that. You say we're the only hosts here that don't hang out with Adam Sandler?
Yeah, we don't have enough room.
Changes right away.
Athletic fields would be a 1.
Would it?
Or, you think so?
Well, we would have, if we use 1 high school and 1 middle, we'd have all the athletic stuff we need.
I think it's one of
Right?
Yeah, because you're going to have basketball, football. Well, you don't have tennis.
We don't have that now.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We're working on it really hard.
The adequate outdoor space, Riverview furniture,
They don't have baseball anymore.
I feel like I love that movie, and I feel like did it? I did not think that. I love Friday.
Would it be ADA compliant?
Starts out really good and then it meanders.
I think so.
Playgrounds, no effect, really?
Correct.
Require increased funding?
Get to you. Remember, hit us up at Covino.
Because, I mean, we got the people now. You're just going to be shifting them around.
I think, so in relation to these,
Uh-huh.
this would be even less funding requirements. We wouldn't have to do any internal. The only problem is they're not big enough, right?
Right.
But as far as funding for supports, we have that in place for the current number of students.
Yep. And teachers.
Yeah, I'd say it's the same group.
Okay.
I got to get back to sports real quick. Here's an obvious one, but it's so true. One of the most
So
underrated
this is leading us to
series champions that
this total score over here.
growing up that not enough people give credit to. Play a sexy game, I guess.
And basically what I did was just total each of these sections.
Right.
So that should narrow us down if we do this all the way across the board. And then, and once we get there, it's gonna get into the more specific items that you have in these other sections. But that was my thoughts whenever I put those four together when we talked about doing academics first.
Yep.
Having to play on a team with other big superstars, he was like a, a mild-mannered sort of dude.
So move only 7th and 8th to a middle school.
And then we'll come back and we'll talk some NBA, some NFL as we get into week 10. Wrap it up. Virgil in Phoenix.
I don't think that's going to be any different than the middle school and the high school, the 1 and the 1, or the retrofitting. I could see it being a 3.
Never seen it, so hey, maybe you're right. Maybe it's not rated at all. We got to check it out. I've not even heard of that film. Yeah, maybe you're lying to us. But thank you very much for all the phone calls. But we got to move on. We got to move on. And we'll get all your feedback.
And here you're going to be dealing with the exact same number of buildings you got. So your maintenance sustainability should stay the same. It's going to have an impact on your elementary students. That would affect all 3 of your student capacities.
So 7-9 would that be a 9?
Lakers are playing pretty solid.
Maintenance sustainability? We don't have that on anything else. I would think this, if it's a 9, then this would be a 9. We're doing what we're doing now. Or, not to say that we couldn't do better, just that.
Right, but how we're handling it now.
Yeah. So if that's a 9,
Then the bottom 2 would be a 9. Because that's what we have now.
right,
Just different configuration. It would impact student elementary.
positively to like
Yes.
a 9 or a 3?
I don't know that I'd go a 9.
Speculation is maybe they just build around Luka.
It's going to, it would affect your middle school as well. And this is going to affect high school.
It would allow more capacity at the high school as well, right?
I think that would be a 3 or a 9. And you're going to have the athletic fields.
Right now on YouTube. Go now to youtube.com. Covino and Rich FSR. Hit the subscribe button.
Furniture's already in place. Adequate extracurricular.
ADA compliance, both high schools have developmental classrooms. We don't need playgrounds at the high schools.
Employment professionals, you'll find
There'd be no effect really to
Cor-
playgrounds.
Correct.
Be less use.
There's always an Express Employment office in your area. Get started.
Require an increase in funding.
This is to apply in person. That's www.expresspros.com.
We're dealing with the same things that we have now. We're just moving them around to different locations.
starts right now. Heard on ESPN, VSiN, and Fox Sports. Today's big play and two best bets are on us. Call 855-BIG-PLAY. It's time to get in with the winners. 855-BIG. And Las Vegas, call now. Wins.com.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all in one platform. Get started today. Your money, your money. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Future trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
I didn't mention this, but
Pros don't
these
just
red weights,
they prove how it's done.
I put those in there to make sure the formulas worked. If that's not what you feel needs to be in there, feel free to change it. But the red ones are the ones that were blank earlier.
Yeah. Okay.
This is specific student supports. So,
Call on Makita. Built to be the best.
do nothing, we have the supports we need now. Or do we feel like we don't? That's why we're discussing middle school, right?
Yeah. So I think that would be a 3. I don't think it would be a 1, and I don't think it would be a 9.
On transportation and VIP access. If that's not enough,
We don't have what we need for extracurriculars or athletics right now, right?
NDP shows swag.
Facilities wise, we don't have field.
No, we do not.
You say it should be a 1? Anybody else got any opinion?
Room for improvement, right? I mean, clearly we have no support for the outdoor middle school without shared usage. So yeah, that's a big deal.
Looking for a hands-on for real-world opportunities? TCAT Upper Cumberland offers top-notch training in automotive technology, welding, practical nursing, industrial maintenance, cosmetology, HVAC, diesel technology,
I said I'm cheating. I'm going over here and see what.
I do think it should be beneficial to have
You gain
extra
the skills
conference
employers are
or more
looking for.
options.
TCAT Upper Cumberland is your pathway to success. TCAT Upper Cumberland, we build careers.
We wish we had you sooner. That's what our families tell us here at Hospice of Cumberland County. Or a loved one need hospice services, give us a call today at 41484.
So you're saying we're overcrowded right now to provide all these supports? Is that what you mean by that? We don't have enough room to provide?
It could be one of the most beneficial calls you'll ever make.
Okay, we're looking.
I think we're close to capacity.
Okay.
I think that we are where we need to be with the past, or we would be doing something different, but I think the numbers are increasing.
Real hungry? Then get on down to Sandbagger Steakhouse. The grill's always hot and the drinks are ice cold. We're
So
serving
would you agree these could be just one across the board then?
homemade desserts that taste like mama. Soups, tiny portions, Sandbagger Steakhouse. Come hungry, leave happy.
We're doing what we need to get by us, what I just heard.
Doors open at 4.
So is that, would you say that's a 1?
Yes, I said Monday. Sandbagger Steakhouse. Come see us.
That sounds so bad.
I know, but I'm just saying, we're scoring where we want to go in the future, right?
And what's the trend? You know, like what is that something that's been increasing year over year?
Marlene, he's asking a question.
Is that increasing year over year, or at least the last 3?
Yes.
Yeah. So
So we're
if-
seeing an
if we're-
increase in SPED, we're seeing an increase in EL, we're seeing an increase in behavior.
And I knew that because I've been listening, but I wanted to hear it straight from the professionals. So, yeah, I mean it's been a theme. So
I mean, we have,
do nothing. So
I think we started with maybe
Prediabetes does.
30.
With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent
Yeah.
or delay type 2
that are in smaller classrooms. So
Take the 1-minute test today at doihavepreddiabetes.org. Brought to
I'm almost in favor of just do nothing off the table and just say,
This is hard because, do nothing is what we're doing now. And I know how hard these people in this room and how hard those teachers work and those principals. So, I mean, it's a fine line because you don't want to offend anybody.
So I understand that. So the point is, if we continue to do nothing, are we going to get where we want to be in the future? And the reason that you score it is so that you can take it and say,
Where we need to
if we
improve.
continue to do this, we're not going to be where we want to be. And here's how we as a team decided that.
yeah, we're establishing a value system right here in black and white, or ones, threes, nines.
So just so everybody can see, these 4 sections, here's the total scores right now. And I can freeze this over here on this side. But these totals are adding up to what we're scoring. So it's starting to tell you that two new middle schools, 1 new middle and 1 existing, 2 existing elementary schools.
One high school and one middle school. Yeah. Or 7, 9, 10, 12.
You can see what the high scores are at this point. Now, what you have to look at, once we get some narrowed down, you go to transportation. But you can see what we're trying to accomplish. So, and I think this gives a method to show everybody that we are putting some thought into this. Once you get narrowed down, then you really go after the details, right? Go into, exactly how many personnel is this going to change? Exactly how many students is it going to affect? And then start making decisions on that, even if we have to get external help for that.
Right.
We can at least narrow down to what makes sense initially.
Everybody loves to talk about Mexico. Mexico, great
Wanna
culture.
keep going?
My mom's from there. Nothing bad about it.
I mean, that's up to you all. We can do whatever, or I can take my team and score it if you all trust us to do that.
Rest of the committee, what do you think?
What want us to do?
Got faith in you.
Yeah, I think.
I'm good either way. We can sit here, I'll sit here through this whole process, or if you want, whatever,
I'm with y'all. Like,
how we can support you.
if we can save a copy to this point and say this is where we left off as a group, and then that way they can pick up, and then we could all take this back with ourselves, fill in the blanks in our own time, and then we can come back and have a good opportunity to discuss where they've scored it and then where we have scored it.
I don't know if we need to score it.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know.
I don't think that us scoring it is gonna do anybody any good other than just make for a really long aggravating meeting, because we don't know the status of RT Hot 504.
And
We don't have a clue.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm just, to the best of our ability. I don't know that where our voice is the ultimate in any particular topic, but it just gives me a reference, I guess, personally.
I don't even wanna pretend like I know, because that's how bad decisions are made.
But if you wanted to fill it out so that you could create questions in your mind to ask whenever we come back as a committee or a full board, and you see something that maybe doesn't make sense to what you were thinking, you could at least ask a question. I think that's what needs to be done.
Yeah, it just,
To become familiar with it so you know what to ask.
Yeah.
So when do you want us to have this scored?
Reeves hasn't played every game, but when he's in there,
He needs something to take back to the board by
By
the
the-
end of the school, right? But I would like to be able to take something back. I'd like to narrow this down, and at least all of us look at what's narrowed down and see if there's other paths that we need to help with.
So do you want so here's what I think you're asking me and my team to do. So go across the top where all of the red 6s are and and score those as priority weights. Now, please understand, if I understand, when we change those priority weights, that's going to affect your scores down the side, correct? Or is it?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So, yes, let's save a copy of this, so when we go back and we do that, then those, you will know what they were.
Yeah, so I'll send this to you, and you can upload it into
Okay.
that folder.
So
and
you-
Red 4, and then create Red 5 and go from there.
So we need to score the priority weights, have those done all the way across, and then you want us to score the yellow sections.
Basically, all of these sections that are not red.
Correct.
Some of them are,
But you want specific student supports, you want athletics, and you want extracurricular. You want sections 1 through 4 scored.
yeah, I
Okay.
think I got you now, yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay,
I
so
think
now,
that would get us at a good point to decide what we want to continue to score, right?
So we're not asking them to complete the food service, transportation, maintenance.
Could you do that too? or-
I mean, I'm not,
okay, so my thought was I can get these first 4 sections done and get them to where we can put them on the agenda for the board meeting.
Oh, okay.
So we would have that done, and then that way.
As a report to the full board?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes. Now, I probably can't get food service and those others done by that amount of time.
well, it's not feasible, right? Like, to put
Because
any thought into it.
We're gonna have tomorrow, basically, we're gonna have tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, and it needs to be done Wednesday.
Well, not only that, but don't the 1 through 4 sections kind of give us an opportunity to narrow some of these things down so that you don't have to take the whole list to transportation, food services, maintenance, and all of that.
I'm good with it, like if we, to me, I think by the time what we've started here, we get those 4 columns completed, I think at that point, we've done enough due diligence to start narrowing it down, so we're not spinning wheels.
For everything.
As far as what to take back before the board meeting, we've got a pretty good start. We can give them a status. To me, I think it'd be reasonable to, maybe look at before our next full board meeting, first week of December, reconvene this group.
Even if we don't have it for the work session, do it for the full.
Yeah,
That can be a little time.
because you're wanting to do research on the magnet school. You're wanting to get with your team and do all this. We've got holidays coming up and stuff. Like, we've got to be reasonable. We've got time if we're saying that our end date with this is the end of May anyway.
So do we need to make an official motion to say, as I mentioned, you gotta figure out how this section 1 through 4 by,
Talk 877-99 on Fox. LeBron makes every team better. Well, that's
not,
really
not work session.
the whole conversation
Regular
together and the whole show together.
It's
Let's go back to
December
the first
4th.
conversation.
Right. When would you need to have that, Ms. Dane, do you know right off the top of your head when the agenda due date is for the, December 4th meeting? That would be great.
November
I mean-
26th, wouldn't it?
My deadline's Thursday, next Wednesday, so with Thanksgiving being in there,
It would be like Dave Roberts should be fired.
I would just set a deadline for, I can go look at the official deadline we set, but December's the wonky meeting. I set a deadline for the 24th, that's the Monday
Your thoughts, because
for Thanksgiving,
it has been really exciting, even though we've been
because then
flooded with great
Board
baseball
meeting
and
week, I
football.
think.
877-99 on.
So that way we'll have it scored and it'll be on the agenda so you all can look and see what we've scored and how we've arrived at it. And you're good with me waiting on till that December meeting as well as the magnet school research?
I think it's fair. It's a brand new topic.
What's the date?
The December meeting's December 4th.
Monday before Thanksgiving.
24th.
Trying to figure out the best way forward, because
I guess to have an official,
and they looked good, and then James Harden has been on fire.
I
They
moved to,
can't win, but I feel like they're still figuring out the rotation, how much to use John Collins and all of that.
ask Dr. Farley's team to finish sections 1 through 4 by November 24th, so that it can be on the agenda for the full board.
I did, I was like,
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Huh?
why are you here?
Take it in.
Any other discussion on this for tonight?
It will be awkward when LeBron James returns to the Lakers because
Good stuff.
your Lakers right now are moving fast.
It's awesome.
Put them on the court, that is not
It's
gonna
tough, but
it's gonna
like
weigh
Dr. Farley, once we started plugging stuff in, it started making much better sense of looking at my document and how it's going.
There's one game today in the NBA. It's the Clippers.
Thank you, supervisors. I appreciate you staying and your input.
Thank you.
Because of an ankle injury, but Bradley Beal will play in his return.
If nothing else, need to adjourn.